Hey guys, today is 40 degrees, it's clear, sun's out a little bit I guess you'd say. Good ride day for me, man. I'll take anything 40 and up. So today I'm headed over to my girl's house, so hey, let's get out of here and we'll talk about it. Hey guys, today I wanted to talk about why I chose my 2008 Honda cbr600rr and just give a basic overview of my likes and dislikes for all the 600cc super sports that are available out there. We'll start it off with the Triumph Daytona 675R. Hot looking bike, has an undertail exhaust, which I like. That's my personal preference. I think it makes the bike look cleaner, although some of you guys say that having the exhaust on the side of the bike centralizes the weight better. I'm not going to argue with that. I'm no expert, so I won't go into that. But the Triumph Daytona 675R has a 3-cylinder engine, which supposedly it produces more torque than the other 600s. So that's a bonus for the bike. However, one thing that I don't really care about the bike is that it doesn't have great dealer support, and part availability is weak for that bike. There was a guy actually complaining on one of the forums where his bike was down for a whole month because they were waiting on a part. So that would really piss me off. So I didn't want to have to deal with that. So I and also the Daytona 675R, supposedly with the undertail exhaust on that bike, supposedly it produces a lot of heat in the seat area. So that's something else I was concerned with. And also I've heard that the bike is really not all that comfortable on the streets. It has a hard seat, and it has very aggressive ergonomics on that bike. It's really more designed for the track. Basically all of these super sports are designed for the track, but a couple of them are a little bit more friendlier on the street, such as the cbr600rr and the Gixxer. So, okay, I X'd the Daytona 675R off my list. Okay, the next bike, the Yamaha R6. Hot looking bike. I think pretty much most of us agree that the bike it's a good looking bike. However, what concerned me with that bike is that it's not very comfortable on the streets. It's more suited to the track more than anything. It's actually one of the best track bikes out there, of the 600s. So, but, and also, I hear that the torque is kind of weak down low. I don't know how true that is. I've never ridden the bike, so I don't know. The bike does 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, so it couldn't be all that bad. But I went ahead and X'd the Yamaha R6 off my list. Okay, the next bike, the Kawasaki ZX6R. And all of these bikes I'm referring to are 2007 and newer, by the way. The Kawasaki ZX6R, hot looking bike. I've always admired the Kawasaki's. I think they're great bikes. I've never ridden one, so I can't really comment on them, only from doing research and watching some of you guys' videos. So, the bike, one thing that concerned me with that bike that I don't like is that it doesn't have a built-in steering damper. So you have to put one of those ugly Olin steering dampers on the triple tree there. And in my opinion, it takes away from the look of the bike. Although the bike was designed for the track, so really you're not supposed to give a shit what the bike looks like. You're more concerned with performance. But however, again, I bought the bike for the streets. So I wanted my bike to look the way I want it to look. I know some of you guys, have your own preferences. My preference is I want a built-in steering damper. That bike didn't have it. So I X'd that bike off my list. Okay, the next bike, the Suzuki Gixxer. The 600 and the 750 I considered. I really like the look from 2007 and newer, at least 2007, to 2010. Good looking bikes. They're fairly comfortable, at least sitting on the bike on the showroom floor. The seat felt comfortable, the ergonomics felt pretty good on the bike. However, one thing that concerned me is I talked to a couple of dealers and I heard that the reliability is probably not as good as the other Japanese bikes. I'm not saying it's a bad bike. I mean, it's an excellent bike. I know a lot of you guys have a ton of miles on your bike, but the guy said that he sees more jigsers come in than any other bike as far as repair issues and recall work. And I talked to a couple of dealers that said that. And also a couple of you guys out there got stranded on your bike. I saw on YouTube. I think Ashfoot was one of them. She had some problem with the rectifier, I believe. And I think that was like a common problem on that bike. She has a 2007 Gixxer, I think. And I think Twist the Wrist, he had a problem, I think, with the O2 sensor or something like that. May have left him stranded. So, I mean, they're fairly minor issues, you know. But that's something I didn't want to have to deal with. And also, a lot of people around in my area have Gixxers, so I didn't want to get a bike that everybody else, a lot of other people have. So and also, the 750, which is, I think it's like the only super sport with a 750cc engine out there, it's higher in insurance, and I don't want to have to pay like an extra $200 or $300 a year to insure that bike for just an extra 150cc displacement on the bike. So I X'd the Gixxers off of my list, and we're down to the cbr600rr. Now in 2007, they completely redid the whole bike from top to bottom. One thing that I really love about the bike, it has a built-in steering damper right here underneath the tank cover. And also the bike, it's the only bike of the super sport bikes that has a gas gauge on it. You know, a lot of people, some of you guys could care less about a gas gauge. You know, you're fine with your low light indicator. I don't know. I like the gas gauge. I like to know exactly how much gas I have on my bike. It helps me hypermile. It just allows me to travel on this bike with confidence. So now I understand the new 2013 Daytona 675Rs have a gas gauge on it now, which I thought was interesting. So, but like I said, I didn't consider a Triumph Daytona 675R for the issues I mentioned earlier. But getting back to the cbr600rr, also the bike has an undertail exhaust with no heat issues at the seat, at least from the 2007 and newer bikes. I've heard, I haven't heard of any complaints of that. Actually, I haven't heard of really any complaints at all on the cbr600rr. They say it pretty much does everything well. It's just your best overall super sport for basically pretty much good at everything. And they say it's fairly comfortable. When I sat on it at the dealership in the showroom, it felt very comfortable to me. And I'm very pleased that I bought the bike. And because also, let me get back to another positive about the bike. The Hondas, of course, as you know, are very, very reliable bikes. They are probably the most reliable of the Japanese bikes. They're renowned for their reliability. There's a cbr600 F4i out there with over 200,000 miles on the bike. So these bikes, as long as you take care of them, they'll last forever. These bikes are not going to leave you stranded. The part availability is excellent on these bikes. Plastics you can get for this bike very easily. So those are huge pros for me. And when I bought the bike, I'll tell you, I was so happy after riding this bike. The bike is very comfortable. I've mentioned that in one of my other videos. I'll include it in this video here, a link to that video to show you, to go in more in depth on the comfort level of the cbr600rr. But as you see, a lot of times I ride with just one arm, one hand, just a hand on the throttle, and I'll take this hand off and put it on rest it on my knee. And I'm in a completely upright position, and the seat's comfortable. I can ride on this bike all day long. I've ridden on this bike all day long. It's very comfortable for me. Actually, in my opinion, it's more comfortable than the cbr600rr that I had, because the cbr600rr that I had, I used to get hand fatigue for some reason. My left hand would go to sleep and it would irritate me. I don't have those issues on this bike. I don't have any issues on this bike. The bike is quick off the line. It still feels fast off the line for me. I've put over 3,000 miles on this bike so far, and I love it. It's fast, it's comfortable, it's reliable. What else can you ask for? The Honda cbr600rr. As far as the naked bikes that are available, I don't care for the naked bikes or the street fighters, because it looks like somebody stole your fairings off the bike. I don't know, some people love it. I don't know, it's their personal preference. I don't like it. I don't know. So, and I'm really not that fond of a completely upright seating position. I really like a little bit more aggressive seating position. I like this because, especially when you hit the twisties, it's more fun. I don't know, at least it was, when I rode my cbr600rr, which is pretty much an upright position on their bike. The twisties weren't as fun as it is on this bike, in my opinion. And this bike only weighs, also another pro to the cbr600rr is that it is the second, one of the lightest, actually it's the lightest 600 of the Japanese 600cc super sports. The only bike that is lighter than this, I believe, is the Daytona 675R. This bike, with a two brother slip-on, only weighs about like 400 pounds, which is only about like 30 to 40 pounds heavier than the cbr600rr ABS that I had previously. So the bike is light, and it's been pretty decent on gas too. If you check my fuel, I average roughly about 43 miles per gallon on this bike. My best tank has been 49 miles per gallon. And I don't baby this bike, as you guys have seen in the videos. I'll do some 0 to 60 runs. I've gone up to about 135 on this bike. Where I save in gas is that I coast in town, and as you guys know, you've seen my video on coasting. I'll include that link in this video as well, so that can help you save some gas. And in my opinion, coasting around town is actually more enjoyable when you're commuting in town. Commuting sucks, on a motorcycle, period, in my opinion. But as far as in the city, stop and go traffic, and coasting to me makes it a little bit more comfortable, and also helps save some gas and some wear and tear on your bike. So, but that's all I pretty much had to say. I'm getting ready to head over to my girl's house here. So if you guys have any question, feel free to ask me, and I'll be happy to answer them. Just leave a comment. And as you guys know, I usually am pretty good about replying to anybody that leaves comments. That's another reason why I love this bike, baby. I love this bike, man. It's quick. Headed over to my girl's house. And my fingertips a little frosty, toes a little frosty. Been riding for about an hour and 42 minutes, and that'll do it. So until next time, catch you guys later.